All right, fourth grade, I think we're all here. I love that we can be all together in one space, and this afternoon we have a wonderful treat. I'm looking up on the stage, I see our fourth grade orchestra with some select sixth grade orchestra friends here who will be performing too. I see Mrs. Jaques, Mrs. Clemans, and I see Mrs. S. So I'm going to give them the microphone, and you guys I know are going to be the best audience ever.
Hi, everybody. I know it feels like a little bit of a small audience, but that's just because we have a very, 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 very big fourth grade orchestra. So we have not only a giant orchestra this year, but people who played strings last year will notice a couple of big differences between our third grade string program and the orchestra program in the fourth grade. The biggest change is that we now have cellos. So welcome cellos, and there are so many of them this year. The other big change that you'll see is that everybody's sitting down, including the violins and violas. So we're sitting down, we're also learning to read music. And so some of the songs that you're going to hear today will be old favorites, and some of them will be new. But everything's going to sound a little different and more rich from adding those cellos to the bottom. We're just going to start with some warm-ups just to make sure everybody's open strings are in tune and that our bowing is smooth and ready to go. So you're going to hear mostly open Ds and open As so we can check our tuning and warm up our bows. That last note that we warmed up on was not open D string or open A string. That was a new note, high D, and we are now going to start on that note and play something called a D scale. We are calling it a backwards D scale because we're starting on a high D and going down to open D. And this is a little warm-up sequence for us. So you're going to hear us play that backwards D scale a bunch of times. The first time it's going to be 4 times on each note in the scale, then 3, then 2, then 1. You're also going to see something that might look a little silly, which is we're going to put our bow on our head in between those things so that we have time to get our finger ready for the next D scale. you're one of those people who's very musical and like keeps musical ideas in their head all the time, keep that last D scale where we just played one note at a time, one time on each note. Keep that idea in your head till the end of the concert. The last line of the last song has that backwards D scale in it. You might recognize it when we get to the end of the concert. We're actually going to start playing some songs for you now. And the first song is something I know will be familiar to everybody. It's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I think you'll find it's a little different from third grade, though. You'll see everybody reading music, even though they have the melody memorized, because the first time everyone on stage is going to be playing the melody. Then you're going to hear the fancy obligato that you might remember from third grade with some of our soloists from the sixth grade. And then the next time we all play through the song, most of the people on stage are going to be reading the music to play the harmony part of Twinkle. So enjoy our version of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Now you can start seeing what the power of adding the lower instruments really sounds quite different from just violins and violas. So thank you, cellos. Our next song is called Frère Jacques, and you might have sung it before in music class. We're going to play it twice. The first time we play it, we're just going to have everyone play the melody at the same time. And in music, when we play at the same time, we call it unison, like uni meaning one, right? Unison. So this is Frère Jacques in unison. are sitting way in the back of the orchestra. It is actually extremely difficult to play unison when you're that far away from the leader, because there's a little bit of a lag in the sound, so you actually have to be really watching exactly the arm motions of the people in front to get it exactly right, and they did an amazing job. So now we're going to make it a little more challenging. We're going to play Theresa Jaques in a two-part round. You will hear the violins and violas playing part one, meaning they're going to start right after the introduction. And then you're going to hear the cellos start at the beginning of the melody when the violins are like in the middle of the melody. So that's how a round works, right? Part one starts first and then part two. And because the violins and violas started first, you'll hear them end first, but the song is not over until the cellos have their final word. Enjoy Theresa Jaques, a two-part round. Noticed that down here where the sixth graders are playing, there's somebody playing an instrument that's actually bigger and lower than the cello. We have one string bass player joining us today, and you might have heard his notes being even lower than the cellos there at the end of Theresa Jaques. He's been playing with the cellos all this time. But he has a solo coming up in the next piece. This is called Old McDonald Had a Bow, and in this piece, I can tell you the lyrics. Old MacDonald had a bow, E-I-E-I-O, and with this bow she played some G's, E-I-E-I-O. With a G-G here, a G-G there, here a G, there a G, everywhere a G-G, you get it. What we're gonna do first is have everybody practice the bowing for their G's in the air. So this is going to be unison air bowing on the rhythm for the G's, and then I'll explain how the G's are different in each section. Everybody bowing G at the same time. What's going to actually happen in the song is you will hear a very high teacher G from me. Then you're going to hear some of our advanced violins playing a low 2 on their highest string, the E string. That's a different G, one lower from the teacher G. Then you're going to hear the entire violin section playing G, 3 fingers on the D string. And then we're getting into the even lower Gs. Then we're going to the violas. Violas, would you raise your bows? Violas are in this skinny long line right from the front to the back. They're going to be playing their open Gs. After that, thank you violas, you can put your bows down. You can see where the cellos are. They're going to be playing their open Gs, which is even lower. And then, if you guess this is where the bass solo comes in, you would be right. He has the lowest G of all, and then the whole group will finish the song. So, Old MacDonald had a bow with lots of Gs. ranges of our highest to lowest possibilities in a string orchestra. We have a small group that's going to play for you now of advanced fourth graders, and they've been working on a special extra piece in their class, and it's an American fiddle tune called Cripple Creek. Bravo, thank you. Fiddle tunes are always such like happy music, it's great. We have one more special piece before we do our ending with the whole group, and this special piece is going to be for our guest players from the 6th grade. They're playing a piece called Tango Trocadero, and the tango is a different kind of dance. It's a dance style from Argentina. This is kind of a playful version of a tango, and those of you who played strings last year will remember that we did a lot of plucking in the first half of the year called pizzicato, and that can be a great technique for beginning strings, but it's also an advanced technique, and you will hear a lot of advanced style plucking in this as well as bowing. So Tango Trocadero. Thank you, sixth graders. I'm sure you noticed that their pizzicato, they have extremely excellent control with not only the rhythm, but you could hear real differences in the dynamics too, right? So the louds and softs inside their pizzicato playing, so excellent job. I just want to say a quick thank you to the fourth grade teachers who do a lot of helping behind the scenes with getting these kids to and from their lessons on in this crazy rotating schedule. So thank you, fourth grade teachers, for everything that you do behind the scenes, making sure instruments get matched up with kids when they need to, and getting kids to their lessons when they need to. We have our last song, which is called French Folk Song. And remember, you can listen for the last line of the song and see if you hear a backwards D scale in there, and you'll get 2 chances because we're going to play the song twice. Thank you very much, fourth grade audience. You've been excellent. And thank you for allowing us to do that standing bow at the end. We didn't even practice that, but everybody's so alert and following the leader that they were able to learn a new bow right in the middle of a concert. So congratulations, you guys did an amazing job. Really good. And I'll just give a last thank you to my co-teachers, Dr. Sulbaran and Mrs. Jaques. We did this really as a team effort, and I just want to thank them as well. And I will hand it back to Mrs. Robertson for a quiet dismissal.